This is Will Gray. Field of Intent. As always, let's start off with something that's very big with Field of Intent, but always worth saying. These comments and ideas are strictly my comments, my ideas. I am in no way suggesting that you have to believe anything that I say. It is your choice to take something from it or not, depending on what you get from it. That is your Field of Intent. Love is what we do. So let's start, eh? Field of Intent is numerous things. Field of Intent. The first time I thought of the concept of Field of Intent, it was while trying to understand some very interesting physics. It had to do with an experiment. Well, they were shooting particles, they, as the scientists that were doing this experiment, of course, were shooting particles through slits of material and seeing how they responded on the other side. Placing the particles through a particle shooter, you could see how they shoot across by the imprint they leave on the screen behind it. And the thing that grabbed their attention was that when they were paying attention to it, the particle would act like a particle. It would be a solid thing and it would move as if it were solid. But when they were not observing it, it would act like a wave of energy, and it would disperse like a wave of energy. And this is the first time that I heard of this process. Now this process then gets huge, and there's ideas and thoughts about how if you have a cat in a box and it's closed, like a dead cat, the cat doesn't actually exist until you open the box and look at it. There's this huge thing about superposition that we're not going to get into here. But the point was, is this particle. When you look at it, it's a particle. When you're not paying attention to it, it's a wave. And all of the doctors and scientists were like, why does it do that? And this was the first time that my head went, well, that's because of the Field of Intent. And then, of course, the other part of me went, Field of Intent? What's that? That sounds interesting. And this is how it started, this phrase, Field of Intent. The Field of Intent itself is a field of creation that you, yourself, as a being who can create, does all the time. This is important to understand, that you do this every moment of every second, all the time. This thing is there. The Field of Intent is what was changing this thing. It was a wave of energy. You know, it was in superposition. Until you look at it, snap, and it snaps into a single position. It's now a particle. And this beginning concept rules over everything. Let me give you a couple of examples. The first one. Did you ever hear the phrase, if you go looking for trouble, you'll find it? If you put your Field of Intent out to find it, you will find it. You know, you ever hear someone go, there's good in them, you just have to look for it, you have to see it. You know, you have to use your Field of Intent to find the good in this person, and lo and behold, you'll find it. Vice versa, you can look and find the bad in people. You know, pessimistic people have their Field of Intent locked onto this negative thing, and no matter what comes their way, no matter what it is, their Field of Intent makes it a negative event. Positive people, no matter what comes their way, it's a positive thing. Let me give you an example of this that you have heard me talk about before, but let me really get into this now. I've said every negative deed and thing that I have ever done or has happened to me, I have the choice of either seeing it as a negative event, a negative thing, a negative concept, an idea, an action, or I can see it as a positive opportunity to learn and grow. Make a mistake. Oh, shoot, that was a mistake. Do I want to do that anymore? No. Oh my goodness, it's no longer a mistake. It's now a lesson. Okay? That flip of how you look at it is your field of intent. How you intend to see this. How you intend on looking at it. I used to smoke cigarettes. When I quit, I made my field of intent hate them. The concept of having a cigarette was nauseating for me to have. Now, I could be around it. My wife smokes, my mother smokes, and I'm around it constantly. It doesn't bother me a bit. But the idea of smoking one myself is nauseous, you know? And then I let it go. See, people think that there's this difficult process to changing your life, changing your spots, changing yourself, getting rid of an addiction, picking up new habits, new ways of doing things. And it's not that hard. My sunglasses. Let's say for a second that these sunglasses are a bad habit, okay? And people go, I should let go of this bad habit. I really should let go of this bad habit because, you know, I mean, yeah, you can't see my eyes. You can't, you can't understand me as clearly or whatever, you know. I really should let it go. I should. Their field of intent just says that they should. Not that they're going to, not that, right? And going to, oh, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to quit. I really am. Fields of intent still is making it completely possible not to let it go, because you're gonna one day, you know, and your mind says, okay, one day we will, not today. Right? How you let go of a bad habit, an addiction, you go like this, and now it's gone, and don't pick it back up. It's over. Done. You know, have I thought about having a cigarette again when I first quit? Sure. Your mind goes, oh, the chemical addiction. The chemical addiction is this thing with the cell. And the cell has receptors. And when you give it a certain chemical, when that cell dies and becomes a new cell, it has more receptors for that particular chemical. And now it wants it. And if you don't give it to it, like caffeine or nicotine, right, then it starts hurting you on purpose. This usually forms in stress and so on and so forth. And so you get your caffeine, you get your nicotine, whatever, and then you're, oh, I feel so much better. No, your body is stopping attacking you because it's trying to get it. Okay? Because it said it wanted it, you said no, and it said, okay, I'm going to hurt you. You know? You have to then set your field of intent higher than your basic instincts. You know, have you raised yourself high enough, higher than an animal, than your own animal instincts can? You know, when you see a really hot girl and part of your head goes, wouldn't like that, but you then run over and do her right there? No, right? You have a choice. Your field of intent can choose that for you. You just have to choose to fight through it. Now, there are some people who have acute cases and their body really attacks them, and then so instead of cold turkey, they need to like wean off, and that's okay too. That's fine. But I'm getting off track. Let me get back to the point.